You've talked about grieving the childhood that you wished you had as often being the final step of the emotional completion process. Will you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so those of you who've been with us for a while or have been in the training know that the I always focus initially on the emotional completion of anger because it's so important and it drives so many symptoms when anger is being held and when it's unresolved. So it can drive anxiety, it can drive depression, it can drive relational difficulties and so on. So I spend a lot of time earlier on in trainings focusing on integrating anger because it is such a huge game changer for so many people to actually integrate it, not to act it out, not to act it in, but to integrate the powerful energies that are associated with the anger. And I go there first because depression and grief, and what seems like grief at least, are often a default mechanism that people use so that they don't feel their anger. So I wait until further in the training process to focus on grieving, but often as anger has gotten integrated, there is, as you're seeing on the screen there is a grieving process, as somebody wrote in as well, for the childhood that you never had, that you missed. And looking back, particularly when you're reconnected and out of the, more have more completed the grieving process, you become aware of the childhood that you never had, or the parents that you never had. And some people get stuck, obviously in trying to either from their parents, if they're alive, still trying to get what they never got from them because they haven't been able to grieve, that it's just not possible for those parents to give you what you want, nor if you're 35 or 40 years old and you're still trying, is it actually even going to help the childhood trauma that you experienced? So we see, and I see, and I talk about how it's very important as this final step of the emotional completion process to deal with the grieving of the early life that we might have, that we missed because of trauma or neglect, abuse of all kinds.